Once upon a time, three children lived in London. Their names were Wendy, John, and Michael Darling. One night, Wendy woke up and there was a strange boy staying on the floor. He looked cross. "I'm Wendy," she said. "Who are you? Why are you cross?" "I'm Peter Pan," the boy said. "I'm cross because my shadow won't stick to me." Wendy said, "Oh, I can fix that." She served Peter's shadow to the tips of his shoes. Peter was happy. "Please fly back to Neverland with me and my fairy, Tinker Bell," asked Peter. "You could be our mother and look after us." "Will you teach me to fly?" Wendy asked. Peter nodded. "I'll wake John and Michael up," said Wendy. "If you teach us to fly, we can go to Neverland." It wasn't long before the children were flying around the bedroom. Then, with a whoosh, they all flew out of the window. They followed the golden arrows that pointed the way to Neverland. Soon, they were flying over the island. "The Lost Boys live with Tinker Bell and me, and I'm their captain," Peter said. "The mermaids live over there in the lagoon. And there are pirates too. Their boss is Captain Hook." "Pirates," said Wendy. She was a bit frightened, but Michael and John wanted to see the pirates right away. "Hook's the meanest pirate ever," Peter said. "But he's frightened of the crocodile. You see, the crocodile had bitten Hook's hand off years ago. It liked the taste so much that it followed him, hoping for more. But the crocodile had swallowed a clock, and the tick-tock, tick-tock warned Hook when the crocodile was nearby. "Oh dear," said Wendy. "I'm not sure I want to stay in Neverland after all." Peter took Wendy, John, and Michael to his house in the woods. They went in through a secret door. When the Lost Boys saw Wendy, they shouted, "Will you be our mother?" "But I'm only a little girl," said Wendy. The Lost Boys looked sad, so she said, "Oh, all right, I'll do my best." That night, Wendy tucked the boys into bed and told them a story. One day, Peter and the children went exploring near the Mermaid's Lagoon. Suddenly, Peter yelled, "Pirates! Hide!" The boys ran away, and Peter and Wendy hid. Peter saw that the pirates had tied up the Indian princess, Tiger Lily, on a rock. Peter had to save her. In a voice that sounded just like Captain Hook's, he shouted, "Set her free!" "But, Captain," one of the pirates yelled, "you told us to bring her here." "Let her go!" Peter roared, still sounding like Hook. "Aye, aye, Captain," said the pirate, and set Tiger Lily free. When Captain Hook found out, he knew that Peter had tricked his pirates. He was very angry. That night, Wendy told all the boys a story about three children who left their parents and flew to Neverland. Their mom and dad missed them very much. "Did they ever go back?" a lost boy asked. "Yes," said Wendy. "They flew home to their mommy and daddy, and everyone was happy." That made Wendy, John, and Michael feel homesick. They decided to fly home to the next morning. "If you come back with us," Wendy told the Lost Boys, "I'm sure our mommy and daddy will look after you." "Hooray!" shouted the Lost Boys. But Peter and Tinker Bell didn't want to live where grown-ups will tell them what to do. Peter was sad that his friends were leaving. He asked Tinker Bell to guide them home. Early the next morning, Tinker Bell and the children left Peter's house. But Captain Hook's pirates were hiding nearby. They captured all the children, tied them up, and took them to the pirates' ship. Tinker Bell flew back to tell Peter what had happened. On the pirates' ship, Captain Hook asked, "Who wants to be a pirate?" The boys shook their heads. "Make them walk the plank," shouted Hook. The boys tried to look brave, but they were afraid. Suddenly, they heard the tick-tock of the crocodile. Now, it was Captain Hook's turn to be afraid. But the tick-tock was Peter pretending to be the crocodile. He flew onto the ship and shouted, "I'll get you now, Hook!" Captain Hook jumped up and swung at the Peter with his sword. But he missed and fell right into the sea. The crocodile was waiting for him, and that was the end of the Captain Hook. Then Peter and Tinker Bell set off for London with Wendy and all the boys. Wendy's mommy and daddy were very happy to see their children again. They hugged Wendy, John, and Michael, and said they would look after all the lost boys. But Peter said, "I'm going to stay in Neverland where I never have to grow up." "Goodbye, Peter. We'll miss you," everyone said. So, Peter Pan and Tinker Bell waved goodbye and flew home to Neverland. The end.